Hello po, magandang araw mga kababayan, magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Isa na naman pong malungkot na balita ang ating ihahatid sa inyo. Kaugnay pa rin po ito ng patuloy na nararanasan ng bansang China ang pananalasa ng virus sa kanila. Ang isang kilala na Chinese multi-billionaire na si Jack Ma ay umalis na po ng China at sa kasalukuyan na nasa Thailand po siya. So panoorin po natin itong balitang ito.
The tragic scene in Wuhan crematorium was exposed, 4 days to burn and 6 hours to wait. Severe COVID cases to peak in China's rural areas fueled by Lunar New Year travels. China silences social media dissidents, blocking who criticize its zero-COVID policy. Jack Ma relaxes in Thailand after ceding control of fintech giant Ant Group. Chinese man with over 280 pounds of fireworks arrested. Beijing maintains fireworks ban. China continued to implement strict measures, accumulating public anger and complaints, which triggered widespread demonstrations, such as the White Paper Revolution. Last year, authorities in Beijing relaxed anti-epidemic measures without a good healthcare plan. As a result, the number of infected soared, creating a shortage of medical supplies. The rising death toll also overwhelmed the crematorium and funeral home industry. According to VOA Chinese, residents of Taixing City, Jiangsu Province revealed that the local funeral industry opened 7 or 8 more crematories due to the soaring number of dead bodies. Chen Jun, whose parents and parents-in-law were infected in his hometown of Taixing, was very sad. He told Voice of America that his uncle was found to be seriously ill after being infected with the new coronavirus on December 26th and December 27th. He passed away on December 29th. His body stayed at home for 4 days before it was sent to the Taixing funeral parlor for cremation. Moreover, he revealed that people lined up in an S shape. There was no special car to pick up the corpses and just drop them off. They took a single rack, put them on top of each other, and carried them forward. The hall was chaotic, with 20 or 30 corpses on the ground. According to Chen, one family arrived at the crematorium at 3 p.m. and left with the ashes at 8:30 p.m. Meanwhile, Wang, another Wuhan resident, learned from colleagues that the 8 cremation furnaces in Wucheng Funeral Parlor operated 24 hours a day to burn more than 100 bodies a day. Wang said it was very scary. According to Chen Jun, the death toll could be an eternal mystery. VOA Chinese cites the China Health and Construction Commission. The organization would stop publishing the daily number of infected people and deaths on December 25th. The CDC would release the epidemic data. According to the media, only a dozen deaths from the novel coronavirus have been announced as of December. Wang said that China would allow its citizens to leave the country on January 8th. However, she stated that the virus's origin had been unknown for a day. Wang also said that it was best for Chinese people not to flock out of the country on a large scale. This is also an explanation for the world.
A top Chinese health official from China's National Health Commission, or NHC, said that severe COVID infections might peak in small and medium-sized cities, as the country is under tremendous pressure after the regime's abruptly dismantled virus-controlled measures. According to Jiao Yahui from NHC, demand for emergency and critical care in China's major cities has likely peaked. But extensive travel trips during the Lunar New Year could lead to faster rising cases in smaller cities and rural areas. This comes as the Chinese regime reopened its borders and lifted quarantine requirements for inbound travelers after 3 years, despite the worsening pandemic situation in China. CNBC cited a study from China Frontiers Journal, projecting that the latest COVID wave would sweep through big Chinese cities by the end of 2022, while infections would hit remote areas in the countryside from middle to late January. The researchers said senior citizens, particularly those with underlying health conditions in rural areas, would have a greater risk of severe infections from the virus due to the lack of medical resources in the countryside. The study's authors noted that the Lunar New Year could lead to a rural COVID outbreak, saying, "The duration and magnitude of the upcoming outbreak could be dramatically enhanced by the extensive travels during the Lunar New Year." Chinese transportation authorities said last week that travel for this season's Lunar New Year would nearly double to 2.095 billion trips. Airfinity, a UK-based health analytics firm, predicts that the amount of new COVID cases in China will peak on January 13th, with daily infections at 2.5 million and daily deaths at 16,600. Lai Jianping, a political expert from China University of Political Science and Law, told the Epoch Times in a previous interview that rural residents have one advantage. The rural population is relatively less dense and more scattered, reducing the risk of widespread infection. Nikkei Asia cited estimates from regional authorities and health professionals, saying 80% of Beijing residents were infected at the end of the year. The figures are 70% for Shanghai residents and about 64% for Sichuan. Online cursing against the government is so common in the majority of countries. However, it's not a simple task on China's heavily censored internet. Even when China's regime has relaxed most of its COVID pandemic restrictions, it still blocks thousands of people who criticized its COVID-19 policy via social media. As Chinese media Daji Yuan reported on January 5th, Weibo revealed that nearly 13,000 cases of attacking experts and scholars had been dealt with. It also permanently banned 1,120 accounts. The country's economy, as well as people's livelihoods, were severely affected during the 3 years the policy was imposed. Then, China's abrupt U-turn on COVID policy late last year has resulted in a surge of COVID cases. Hospitals, crematoriums, and funeral homes are full with corpses. The CCP not only bans criticism, but also attempts to censor speech. For example, the 6-minute short video Voice of April, which was released in April 2022, featured the shouts of locked-down Shanghai residents. The video starts with Shanghai officials stating on March 15th that the city will never be closed. There are many audio snippets that follow that illustrate how helpless people feel while living in such terrible lockdown conditions. The ending card of the video reads, "Get better soon, Shanghai." According to The Guardian, due to China's heavy censorship, the video was removed shortly after it was published. Yet, users came up with other ways to circulate the video. For example, embedding a QR code in a film poster, or directing others to cloud services to download it. Chinese billionaire Jack Ma has been taking comfort in Thailand after a long period of withdrawal from the limelight. Social media images on January 6th show that Jack Ma visited a Michelin-starred Thai restaurant in Bangkok. Ma, in a blue t-shirt and iconic pants, took pictures with owner Supinya J-Phai Junsuta by his left side. In another shot, he raises his fingers, praising the woman's cooking. A group pose shows that Supakit Chearabanon and his wife.
Nga po mga kababayan, na panood po natin yung balita, no? So, bagamat ito ay nakakalungkot nga ho, sabi ko nga na lang huwag po tayong magsawa na ipanalangin ng bansang China na naway malampasan nila ang trahedyang yan. Dahil napakaraming buhay na po. Napakaraming buhay na po ang nalalaga sa kanila araw-araw. Actually, wala nang lugar para sa mga pasyente. Hindi na magkakasa ospital. Ultimo, ang cremation ay hindi na rin kakayanin ang mga namamatay na Chinese. So, sa kasalukuyan po ay ayon sa mga huling balita ay sobrang nahihirapan na po ang gobyerno ng China, no? Sabi nga ho ng mga ibang nag-aanalisa, ito na daw ho ang simula ng pagbagsak ni Xi Jinping, ang presidente ng China, dahil sa pangyayaring ito na kung saan sasabayan pa yata ito ng gera sa Taiwan, na kung saan ang Taiwan ay tutulungan po ng Amerika at ng Japan. So by next video, ipopost po natin yan mga kababayan.